Most people believe success is about getting it right the first time, but history tells a different story. Some of the world's greatest leaders weren't defined by their victories. They were defined by what they did after defeat. Andy Burnham knows that story better than most. Twice, he reached for the leadership of his party. Twice, he failed. Many believed his chance had gone forever. Yet years later, the man once written off by Westminster would walk through the famous Black Door of Number 10, not as a visitor, but as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. This isn't just the story of a politician. It's the story of resilience, of purpose, and of proving that sometimes your greatest setback is only preparing you for your greatest achievement. This is the extraordinary life of Andy Burnham. Andy Burnham was born in Merseyside in 1970. He wasn't born into wealth or political privilege. His father worked as a telephone engineer. His mother was a receptionist. Like millions of families across Britain, they believed in something simple: work hard, look after your neighbors, never forget where you came from. Those values would shape Burnham for the rest of his life. Even after studying at Cambridge University and entering Parliament in 2001, he never tried to present himself as someone extraordinary. Instead, he wanted to represent ordinary people whose voices often went unheard. And that would become the foundation of everything that followed. Burnham quickly earned a reputation as a hard-working politician. He served in senior government roles, including health secretary. Many believed he was destined to become Labour leader. Then reality struck. He stood for the leadership. He lost. Years later, he tried again. He lost again. For most politicians, that would have been the end. Years of ambition, gone. The headlines moved on. Commentators began talking about the next generation. But Andy Burnham made a decision that would define his career. Instead of chasing power, he chose purpose. And sometimes, purpose leads somewhere even greater. In 2017, Burnham left Westminster behind and became the first directly elected mayor of Greater Manchester. Some called it a step backwards. History would prove otherwise. While others fought political battles in Parliament, Burnham focused on improving everyday life: transport, housing, jobs, safer streets. He believed leadership wasn't about standing in the biggest building. It was about standing beside the people you serve. Then came the greatest challenge of all: the COVID-19 pandemic. As businesses closed and uncertainty spread across Britain, Burnham stood before television cameras demanding fair support for Greater Manchester. Whether people agreed with him or not, millions saw something increasingly rare in politics: a leader willing to stand his ground. Almost overnight, the mayor of Manchester became a national figure. Sometimes, the world notices you when you're simply refusing to give up on others. Politics has a habit of changing quickly. The man many believed had missed his opportunity suddenly found himself back at the center of British politics. Years of experience, years of setbacks, years spent leading one of Britain's greatest cities had prepared him for something bigger. When Andy Burnham became leader of the Labour Party, few could have predicted what came next. On the 17th of July, 2026, he became Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. It was a journey that had taken decades, not built on shortcuts, not built on luck, but on persistence. The boy from Merseyside, the politician who lost twice, the mayor who refused to abandon his city, had reached the highest office in the country. History will decide what kind of Prime Minister Andy Burnham becomes. That chapter is still being written, but one lesson from his life is already clear. Success doesn't always belong to the person who arrives first. Sometimes it belongs to the person who refuses to stop moving forward. Because failure isn't always a full stop. Sometimes it's simply a comma, a pause before the next chapter begins. Andy Burnham reminds us that leadership isn't measured by titles. It's measured by character, by perseverance, by staying true to your values when the easier option is to walk away. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson of all. Extraordinary lives aren't built because people never fail. They're built because ordinary people choose to stand back up again and again. If you've enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to Extraordinary Lives, because behind every extraordinary life is a decision to never give up. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things.